and welcome back to another in-depth weather video. Today we're going to be talking about Tropical Depression 31, which, if it forms, would be Tropical Storm Iota. So, if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. So here is Tropical Depression 31, with maximum sustained winds of 35 miles an hour, minimum central pressure of 1,007 millibars, and is moving west-southwest at 7 miles an hour. Now, if we move down here to the warnings and cone, we can see this is expected to strengthen into a tropical storm pretty soon, then become a hurricane, make landfall in either Nicaragua or Honduras, and then weaken to a tropical storm and then a post-tropical cyclone. But there is a wide range with this storm, and we'll talk about that later when we get to current storm information. But you can see the highest probabilities of tropical storm force winds are leading up to Honduras and Nicaragua. So we're definitely going to see some strengthening with this storm. 80 to 90% chance that we see a tropical storm force winds out of this. So, key messages. Tropical depression is expected to strengthen to a hurricane while it approaches the coast of Central America, and there is a risk of dangerous winds, storm surge, and rainfall impacts across portions of Nicaragua and Honduras beginning Sunday night. Hurricane watches will likely be issued for a portion of this area tonight. Through Wednesday morning, heavy rainfall from Tropical Depression 31 may lead to life-threatening flash flooding and river flooding across portions of Haiti, Jamaica, and Central America. Flooding and landslides from heavy rainfall could be significant across Central America, given recovery efforts underway after Hurricane Iota. And the tracks between this potential hurricane and Major Hurricane at the time, Iota, is surprisingly similar, and we'll get into that when we get into the models. Alright, let's move on here to satellite. We can see here center of rotations right in here. Good convection here. You can see some overshooting tops closer to the center, but overall looking like a decent tropical depression, and definitely looks a lot more organized than some of the tropical depressions we've had this year. So moving on to current storm information. Global and hurricane models showing that the NHC track, basically, a few of them have it going further to the north, hitting the Yucatan. GFS models showing a little bit more of a northern track, hits Honduras very far up the coastline, very close to Guatemala and Belize, and then it has it doing like this hook here and possibly coming back into the Caribbean. Alright, so the GEPS ensembles showing a Belize landfall and tracking through Belize, Guatemala, and into Mexico as that median track. Intensity guidance. This is where things get interesting, because most of these models, the overall cluster has it strengthening into at least a Cat 1 hurricane, then dropping off at landfall. But a few of these have it strengthening into a Category 3, and some of them have it maintaining hurricane strength for a while. So there's a lot of variation here, and we don't see a clear path for this storm. But every single model here does have it becoming a tropical storm. Now, just weathernerds.org, just some other tropical cyclone guidance. This is the European ensemble, has it making a Nicaraguan landfall and tracking through Honduras, kind of riding right up the center of Central America. The GEFS is pretty similar to the GEPS at this point. One of these spaghetti strains, as I like to call them, have it hitting the Yucatan and then hitting Florida, which is very, very interesting. But overall, that is about it for this. Let's move on to the models. So here is possible tropical storm Iota. So you can see the GFS has it strengthening pretty quickly as it approaches Honduras and Nicaragua, gets all the way down to 965 millibars, and then makes landfall, kind of rises the coast for a little bit, which is not good, and then it makes landfall, falls apart over the mountains in there in northern Central America. So with this storm, right, this is part of the Central American gyre, where we're right now. I think we're having a little bit of a circulation right in here. That's why most of these storms are heading in this way. But this one is that low pressure, it stays intact into the Pacific. And then another low pressure forms up, and I would not be surprised if we would see other tropical cyclones develop out of this year. So, but let's more importantly get to the wind speeds. So I'm going to zoom in here. We're going to go to the Western Atlantic. Alright, so we're watching this. Alright, so just for reference here, if we go to wind speed probabilities, tropical storm wind speed probability is 39 miles an hour, or about 34 knots. Let's do, okay, so you have 34, 50, and the hurricane is about 64-ish. So, on the model here, green is tropical storm force, purple is hurricane force. So we definitely see that this is going to become at least a strong Category 1 or Category 2. Then when it makes landfall, it kind of falls apart, and then it moves out onto there. So the time period this is going to be a hurricane is going to be very short, but we might see rapid intensification from this as it hits Honduras, and that's why the intensity guidance from the current storm information is all over the place. Because if we can use Eta as a benchmark here, Eta rapidly intensified moving up into this point, and it looks like this will too. Now, Eta strengthened into a Category 4 major hurricane and almost tied Laura for the most intense hurricane of this year according to wind speed. Now, this could totally become a Category 3 storm. It's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities. I don't think this will become a Category 4 just because of the amount of time that it has. It's already well into the Caribbean, and it doesn't have much time left. I mean, between now and Sunday is not a lot of time, but we have seen weirder this year. So right now, this tropical depression affecting the Caribbean, it's expected to become a hurricane, but the strength is still not certain for this storm, and the future of this storm is also not certain. So there's a lot to still be considered, a lot of variables, but that is all the information that I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.